top rank, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors this afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen,
yourselves.
our third bout of the afternoon. In the blue corner, he comes here, ladies and gentlemen, with a record of 1-0-1. He is from Albuquerque, New Mexico, wearing black with red, weighing in at 131 3/4 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jacob Romero.
He weighs in at 137 3/4 pounds. They call him Slick. You know him as Ricky Ortega.
Just moments away from this fight, crosstown rivalry, both men from Albuquerque, New Mexico. You're looking at Ricky Ortega in the greenish colored Aqua trunks. His opponent, Jacob Romero, also from Albuquerque, New Mexico. There's the bell, and round one is underway now. Boxing outdoors, coming to you from the Albuquerque Sports Stadium, home of the Albuquerque Dukes AAA Farm Club of the LA Dodgers. We're out here on the baseball field. Of course, this is the undercard of Johnny Tapia, defending his title for the 7th time, his WBO world title, 7th defense against Hugo Soto. And right now we're looking at the undercard, two Albuquerque fighters, Ricky Ortega and Jacob Romero. Ortega with a record of 6-3, 3 wins by knockout. And his opponent, Jacob Romero, in the black trunks with the red trim, is unbeaten at 1 win and no losses with a draw. That draw was in his pro debut against another crosstown rival, Marty Maestas, taking Jacob to the limit as he fought a draw. That also was on the undercard of Buster Mathis and Mike Ackley. Jacob, razor-sharp Romero, did not have a real long amateur career, but a very successful one. He learned quick, and right now he's doing real well as a professional under the guidance of Jake Valencia and Jim Johnson. Jacob training out of the South San Jose Community Center, and Ricky Ortega in the aqua-colored trunks being guided by Oriol Chavez. There you see Ricky open up on Jacob, and Romero answers back, and the two get kind of tied up there. Referee Al Martinez working this bout. Dan Cisneros at ringside, and you're watching the 8-count boxing hour here on Community Cable Channel 27, only in Albuquerque, bringing you the boxing action of the Duke City. And this is a big crowd here today. We've got about well over 7,000 people. Big day of boxing. ABC television in town. Oscar de la Hoya, Eric Butterbean Ash, Sugar Ray Leonard, all in attendance for this big fight. The 7th title defense of Johnny Tapia, and these two men here, Jacob Romero and Ricky Ortega, getting some good exposure here on the undercard, fighting in front of better than 7,000 fans here at the Albuquerque Stadium. Jacob Romero is kind of a cruiser. I would call him more of a counter-puncher. He's not a real busy and real aggressive fighter. He's more of the counter-puncher style. Ricky Ortega is kind of more of a balanced type fighter, a little bit of offense, a little bit of counter-punching. Of course, Ricky Ortega was a tremendous kickboxer in his amateur days, as well as a very successful amateur boxer. Round one, we're scheduled for 4 here. These men are in the junior lightweight division. Ortega coming in at 131, and his opponent Romero coming in at 132 pounds for this fight. And there you see Romero missing with that left hand. He's got power in both hands, and so does Ortega, and that ends the first round. So a pretty close opening round. We expect this to be a good close fight. The two styles, the two men are very similar in style. A little bit of edge and experience would have to go to Ricky Ortega, but Jacob Romero's coming on strong as a professional and wants to keep that unbeaten record intact. The footage of this bout coming to you courtesy of Lenny Fresquez of Albuquerque, New Mexico, Albuquerque's promoter, ABC Television, Bob Yalen, and Top Rank Incorporated giving us permission to show the footage of their card. Also thanks to the New Mexico State Athletic Commission, headed up by Jim Boggio, and the events coordinator, Mr. Max Abeda. The Two men are getting ready as they clear the ring now for round 2. This bout is scheduled for 4, but most people at ringside thinking this one will not go the distance, as Romero and Ortega both have good knockout power, and either man could go. Of course, both men with a pretty sturdy chin. This also could go the distance. Now you see Ricky Ortega with that stand-up style trying to work with that jab, and now Jacob Romero comes back with some good body shots. Ortega bouncing up on his toes now, trying to get that rhythm, sticking that jab in the face of Jacob Romero, but Romero very calm. He's a very cool customer as a boxer. A real cool, slow-handed style, just kind of giving himself a good pace, working behind the jab, and he's got power in those hands. There you see Jacob Romero working with the left hand. Both men in the orthodox right-handed stance. You can see that Romero is more of the counter-punching fighter. He will let Ortega dictate the action, and then Romero will open up with the counter shots. And now you see Romero scoring with some good punches there on the counter. Ricky Ortega trying to get a little bit of movement, trying to find the right angles to get in there, shooting on his opponent, Jacob Romero. Again, the similar style of the two fighters is going to make this one a hard one to judge. There you see Jacob Romero now, though, moving in, and then he scores with a good left hand to the body, and Ricky Ortega ties him up smartly. A smart fighter. Some of these guys just don't know how to tie up, and they get hurt, and they start swinging wildly, and they get taken out. Ricky Ortega doing a good job there of slowing his man down as he was able to score. There you see again Ortega trying to work that jab right hand, comes back with a body shot. The knock on Jacob Romero that I've heard here at ringside might be that he's not busy enough. I think they would like to see him be a little bit busier, be a little bit more offensive and score more, rather than being such a counter-puncher and relying on the big punch. Both men are very stylish fighters. They're neither one a brawler, really. Good stylish technique, and there you see Romero just missing with that jab and coming back with the left hand. There he tries to answer off the break. Both of these fighters are classy individuals, very nice gentlemen that are willing to talk to you anytime. They are really good people. You have to wish the best for both of them, but of course one of them has to win unless we have a draw here. And there's the bell to end the second round, so this bout is halfway through. We've got 2 more to go, and that was another close round. Boy, you could see that one going either way. Tough fight for the judges here. It's going to be tough. They're going to have to dig deep and really analyze everything they saw and put it together in their mind. And of course, a close fight like this can look very different from depending on which side of the ring you're sitting on, as the 3 judges are placed in 3 different sides of the ring. And when a fight is this close, it can look very different to the 3 judges. Boxing coming to you from the Albuquerque Dukes Sports Stadium. It's been a long time coming that a fight card would take place outdoors here at the sports stadium, and it's really nice. It's been very successful. A good, peaceful crowd. Boy, these people are really enjoying their boxing here as we get ready for round 3. And a lot of support for these 2 fighters, both men from Albuquerque. These young men are very popular fighters here in town. And we're underway now with the 3rd round. We're scheduled for 4. Dan Cisneros at ringside. Again, you're watching the 8-Count Boxing Hour here on Community Cable Channel 27, only in Albuquerque. Promoter Lenny Fresca is working with Top Rank Incorporated, putting on a real nice card here at the Dukes Sports Stadium. These 2 are a very even match. This is a good match. Hats off to the matchmaker for this one. Now you see Jacob Romero works inside and digs with a left hand to the body. And again a left hand by Jacob Romero. And Ortega's nose starting to bleed now. Ricky Ortega with a bloody nose there. He's been taking some pretty good shots to the head. And again, Jacob Romero is a real strong puncher, a heavy-handed puncher. And there you see both men now mixing it up, and they tie up there. A lot of good fighters being produced from the New Mexico area, the state of New Mexico. And now you see the two getting into a little bit of a slugfest here. A pretty good even exchange there. And again, both men with big shots now. And there you see now Ortega on the attack, moving in with the left hand. Again, Ortega with the jab. And Ortega missing with that right hand. Romero slipped it. Both of these guys have good fast hands and plenty of power behind their shots. Very interesting matchup here. These two, the two styles, see who's going to prevail in this one. Of course, a lot of that hometown pride evident in this fight also, as the two men fighting before the hometown crowd. Beautiful day here outdoors, just a perfect day for an event outside, maybe a little bit warm. Oh man, and Jacob Romero landed a big right hand on that exchange. It kind of rocked Ortega, but he sure took it. Boy, but that one really shook him. And now you see Ricky trying to move forward and be a little bit more aggressive after that bomb landed by Jacob Romero. There's a body shot from Ortega. And Romero answers back with his own now, with the left hand. And there you see Jacob Romero now sticking that jab out there 3 times. And Ricky Ortega answering back. Boy, these guys just taking turns here. One guy tries something and the other guy tries the same. It's like anything you can do, I can do better. Oh, there's a solid right hand now from Jacob Romero, landing to the head of Ortega right at the bell, and that may have won him that round. It was close up to that point. And then Jacob Romero with a big bomb, but again, Ricky Ortega, even though it shook him down to his very soles of his feet, he took that shot. So that ends the 3rd round, and we've got one more to go here in this battle. Scheduled for 4, it's going to go into the 4th round. Pretty close to this point. I think Jacob Romero may have taken a bit of a lead here through 3. And we'll see what happens here in the 4th and final round. You're looking at the corner of Jacob Romero. His cornermen, Jake Valencia and Jim Johnson. Ricky Ortega's corner, Ricky is being handled by his chief second, Oriol Chavez. A good boxing match to this point. Not a brawl, but a real boxing match. I think people were expecting a little more of a fireworks type fight, but this one has turned into definitely a scientific boxing match. Both men trying to score with a jab, trying to have a little bit of foot movement. You can see the two trying to use the ring generalship to move the other man around to where he wants. And neither man really taking a dominating, commanding lead in any round. And now you see Ortega opening up a little bit on Jacob. And again, Romero now working behind the jab. Jacob Romero, no relation to Albuquerque's world champion Danny Kid Dynamite Romero, but a good boxer nonetheless. And there again, you see him working with 3, 4, 5 jabs as Jacob Romero, and now Ortega does the same with the triple jab, moving in behind the jab. Both men trying to set things up with the jab, going by the book here. Ricky Ortega's face now again starting to spout a little bit of blood from the nose. We are in the 4th and final round here on the 8-Count Boxing Hour. A good close fight so far. There's Ortega now trying to get that left hand in there, and again Romero answers back with an uppercut. An uppercut hook combination. And again you see Ortega trying to jump on Jacob Romero when he has Jacob's back to the ropes. Ortega trying to get in there and score, but Romero's not a real dancer, but definitely with some pretty good side-to-side movement, working the ring, working around the outsides of the ring, and tying up if Ricky gets too aggressive there. There's a right hand from Ortega. sitting right across from me, Oscar De La Hoya, one of the great boxers in the world of boxing, and he's just got his eyes glued on these two fighters with a smile on his face. I think he's really enjoying this action here. Oscar De La Hoya coming to town. Oh, there's a big right hand from Jacob Romero. And Ortega tries to get one of his own, but Jacob now moving, making a hard target for Ricky Ortega. Not much time left in this one, and there's a lot to be decided. There's a right hand from Ortega. Again, Romero moves around the ring. Oh, and Jacob lands a left hand. He leads with that left kind of a half uppercut hook, and it landed to the chin of Ortega. And Jacob Romero's punches really just seem to have that concussion effect, you know, just pounding. The two kind of wrestle around here. Uh-oh. Ortega gets a warning now as he tried to come off that break with a right hand, and that ends the bout. The bell rings and it ends the fight. And it was a good one, a good close fight. Both fighters to be congratulated here as the two showing good sportsmanship going to the corner of the other man. And this one's going to go to the hands of the three judges at ringside. Neither man, again, in my opinion, taking a commanding lead in this fight. I have it scored 39-37 for Jacob Romero, but that's highly unofficial, and it will be up to the three judges at ringside. Walt Brown, Levi Martinez, and Jim Bagshaw. And right now the New Mexico State Athletic Commission is tallying up the totals of the three judges, and we're going to find out who won this one. Who do you think won this fight? I wouldn't argue with you either way, really. Not too much. A lot of the rounds were close. Neither man able to take control of this fight here. But the crowd having a good time. I see Oscar De La Hoya gives a thumbs up to the two fighters, and he's smiling and just having a great time here. What a day of boxing we're having here. And it's taken a little while to add things up. They're double checking. They want to make sure they have the right scores on this one. Jacob Romero wants to remain undefeated, and of course Ricky Ortega would like to add to his record of 6-3. He'd like to build things up. But right now, let's find out who won this match. Let's go up to the ring announcer, KDEF's own Henry Tafoya.
We have a majority decision. Referee, or rather Judge Jim Bagshaw, has it 40-36. Judge Will Brown has it 38-38. Judge Levi Martinez has it 40-36. The winner by majority decision, Jacob